Part 1. White Clouds. Red Wolf Moon. The Flame in the Darkness. Hoarfrost now graces treetops and open fields alike, and an icy chill blown in from the north of Fargus blankets the land. All of Fodlan's creatures begin to settle in for a long winter. The setting sun bathes the full winter coat of every wolf in a foreboding scarlet glow. Hunters can now spread the word that the red wolves are back on the prowl.
Here you are again. I see. The flowers you helped to water are in bloom now. Have a look. Indeed. My sister was fond of this one in particular. Dead. Duscur is a dead land. Its flowers were all trampled under the boots of soldiers. But seeing this blossom brings back memories. I do not know why I am telling you all of this. There is little to tell. But if you are from Fodlan, you must know what became of the people of Duscur, the people who betrayed their allies from Fargus, the ones who were punished for regicide. The Duscur are shunned for their crimes, even now. It would be in your interest not to spend any more time around me than necessary. His Highness is an exception. But, to be completely candid, it pleases me to be able to speak with you like this. If you truly do not mind, I would be glad to receive more visits from you in the future.
That's what we're dealing with. Is there no chance it's an infectious disease?
There are no absolutes in medicine, but the chances are extremely slim. Restless movements, fits of violence, becoming bedridden, or even impossible to wake. With symptoms that varied, there are only a few possibilities. It's either a mixture of poisons or magic, and dark magic at that.
You're talking about Remire Village, aren't you, Manuela?
Oh my, if it isn't Gerald. Tell me, what was the first thing you heard?
Everything, after you mentioned that it's not likely an infectious disease. My child and I owe the people of Remire Village. If something's happening there, we must help them.
We scouted the area ourselves. Speak with the knights, hear what they have to say. I must go. Thank you for your help, Manuela.
You know, I'm more than willing to go with you to Remire Village. After all, I owe you my life. If you'd like, I bet we could even manage the mission all by ourselves. Just the two of us. Professor! A bit of a tease, are we? A girl could get used to this side of you.
Nice try, but I'll be going to the village as well. Enough nonsense. It's time to move out.
As you like. Goodbye, Gerald. Goodbye, Professor.
I'll be in my office making preparations. What about you? If you have the time, it would be helpful if you could go ahead and talk to the Knights. Hey, what's wrong? If anything feels off, return to the infirmary. No need to just grin and bear it. Got it?
Ugh, what could have caused such dizziness? I felt it too. Actually, I felt that way before.
This... Bye.
Looks like... Look...
I have a question. I see. Professor.
I see. So you'll be staying here for some time then? Honestly, I'm surprised. I've heard it's been a few years since you last donated to the church.
That was merely because of the financial situation of my territory. I assure you it has nothing to do with my dedication to the church. By the way, Dmitri, isn't Edelgard currently enrolled at the Officers' Academy as well?
Yes, she's in the Black Eagle House. I don't believe she has any plans to leave anytime soon. Why not pay her a visit?
I may do just that. It's nice to stay in touch with my dear niece every now and then. Of course, I'm also delighted that I was able to speak with my nephew as well. Whether through marriage or otherwise, family is family after all.
Of course. The feeling is mutual. Professor, if you were watching, you should have made your presence known. That was Lord Arundel, the regent for the Empire. He is also Edelgard's uncle. My stepmother was his younger sister. We are not related by blood, but he is technically my uncle. Yes, my stepmother was Edelgard's birth mother. Edelgard and I are siblings by marriage. We can delve into that topic another time. For now, let's make preparations to investigate what's happening in that village.
Oh dear, the princess of the Empire and the kingdom's prince are kin. How very odd. All beings are attached somehow to those who are their family. Yes, even I. I must have had a family too. I wish I could remember them. My family. I wonder who and where they are, and what they're doing now. In any case, about this Arundel. You've heard that name before, correct? Quite true. We came across that name within the library, right where the prince had been. I thought that Arundel had died, and yet, not so. He seems alive and well. I wonder what the prince had hoped to learn from reading of his uncle's charity. So many things the prince has yet to tell. How bothersome.
Much appreciated.
Hey, Sylvain. I would like...
Ha, you have helped. Professor, don't you...
No.
Well, that worked out. It's all becoming clearer.
Work.
Okay, now that you know the technique, go ahead and solve this problem.
Ah, I've got it. Finally.
See? Isn't it fun to learn?
Absolutely. You're great at this, you know. You really seem to have all the answers. I wish I could study and just soak up knowledge like you. How did you get so good at this?
Well, studying was something of a necessity for me.
What do you mean?
My father was one of the king's knights. One day, he never returned home. He just left without ever saying a word to me or my mother.
I'm so sorry to hear that. Losing a father so suddenly? I completely understand.
After he left, I thought a lot about where he might have gone. My father was a devout believer, so I was certain he must have come here, to Garreg Mach.
Here? Really?
That's why I was determined to gain acceptance into the academy. I needed to come here so I could search for my father. The problem was that I needed money to get in. Lots of it. And I didn't have any at all. So I entered the School of Sorcery in Ferdiad first, hoping I could somehow find a path here. I studied tirelessly until I finally earned myself a recommendation.
Oh, wow. So for you, studying has been like a way to meet your destiny.
Destiny, huh? Well, yes, but it's a bit embarrassing when you put it like that. Now I have other reasons for wanting to keep trying hard. I want to protect all of my friends and allies here. I'm studying hard so I can be as useful as possible to everyone I hold dear.
You've worked so hard. I really respect that. I'm going to follow your example. Do you know this legend, Ingrid? It's about the Battle of Fodlan's Throat.
Oh, yes. I know it like the hilt of my sword.
With so many valiant knights appearing in this story, I couldn't help but wonder which was your favorite. I really like this one, the one in the middle, the knight who stands in defense of the Duke.
Such a wonderful knight. One of my favorites as well.
That makes sense. He's so noble and virtuous. In fact, he kind of reminds me of you.
Thank you. You remind me of him as well. You are honest, as is he.
No, I'm nowhere near as great. Maybe someday. Maybe if we work hard together, we can both become knights as glorious as the one in this story.
Together, yes. Now wouldn't that be something? If only we could.
Huh?
Ash, the legends are exactly that. Legends. They're not indicative of real life. The cards we are dealt are what they are. We can work with what we have, but we can't change what's in our hand.
What's that supposed to mean?
I long to serve His Highness as a knight. The sort of knight that legends are written about. But I was born bearing a crest, and with that comes responsibility. Whether I like it or not, I am the last hope of House Galatea. I am the only one who can carry on the family bloodline and restore our lost fortune. To do that means setting aside my own dreams and ambitions.
You still have the right to pursue your dreams.
Ash, I must ask something of you.
Yes, of course. Anything.
My dream is aligned with your own. Please, for both of us, promise to see yours through.
That doesn't seem fair.
I'll never be able to see my dream through. Doing so would mean terrible misfortune for others. So, I am bound by honor not to follow through on my own dream. But I can help you achieve yours.
Come on, this isn't like you at all. Please, don't smile when your eyes are so sad.
That's a heavy sigh. Again.
Yeah? That's the sigh of exhaustion after spending the past month apologizing for your behavior to, well, everyone.
Apologizing? I've been pretty darn restrained lately.
If by restrained you mean falling all over yourself to garner the attention of every passing female, then yes, you've been quite restrained. Mark my words, the more you hurt people, the more weighty the repercussions will be. Your actions will come around to bite you.
Ha! If I get bitten, that's all just part of the game. Heck, I had one girl's brother come after me with a pitchfork.
If you end up getting maimed or killed by a pitchfork, don't expect me at your funeral. Glenn used to make light of getting hurt too. Then one day, he got more than hurt. Now he's gone.
I'm sorry. I was being... You're right. I know what it did to you when he died. It hurt to see you hurt, and not be able to do anything. When you wouldn't even come out of your room to take care of your horse.
Nothing affected me the way his passing affected me.
Well, I'm happy that you're better. Seeing you out and about helped me relax enough to be able to flirt with girls again.
Your predictability is utterly disappointing. When I finally stopped mourning, you know what brought me back? My concern. For you.
Me?
You know you can't get along without me following in your shadow and caring for you. You flirt with anything that has a pulse, offend people left and right, and constantly cause commotions.
Huh. The truth really does hurt.
Please, Sylvain, consider your actions before you carry them out. And stop acting so nonchalant about getting hurt or killed. Promise me that.
Okay. I promise.
Ingrid?
What's the matter, Annette? You look upset.
I'm just so sorry. I had no idea.
I'm not sure I follow. Take a breath. What's going on?
Well, I was really curious about why you're not interested in things like makeup. So I asked some of our friends about it, and...
Oh, I see. I imagine they mentioned that my family was fairly poor, and they probably also mentioned that I lost my fiancé. Correct?
They did. I'm so sorry. It was thoughtless of me to try pushing those things on you.
It's perfectly fine, Annette. It's true, my family struggled financially. It wasn't easy growing up, but it taught me values I wouldn't have learned otherwise. And we weren't so poor that I consider myself deprived. I'm sure my family would have bought me makeup if I had wanted it. But it never mattered enough to me. Not then, and not now.
Oh, so you just never sought that stuff out?
Never. While I acknowledge it can be fun, fussing over my outward appearance isn't an instinct of mine. When I was younger, I'd usually be found covered in dirt, bugs in my hair, and a big smile on my face. Things haven't changed too much since. Then, when my fiancé passed on, my priorities shifted even further. It reminded me of what's most important in life. Beyond that, it's hard to think of myself changing without him around to see it. even if it's something trivial like how I present myself. But talking to you has helped me realize it's okay to loosen up and enjoy those things if I want. So, thank you.
Me? Oh, I didn't do anything at all. Except pester.
More importantly, do you notice anything different about me today?
Yes. It's very subtle, but I could tell right away that you were using that makeup I gave you.
You could? Oh, that makes me happy. I was trying to apply it just how you showed me.
You did great, and it really suits you.
I think there's a lot I can learn from you, Annette. You've helped me embrace a lighter side of life I quite like.
It's my pleasure. Ooh, this is so great. Want to go shopping to celebrate?
Shopping? But what would we buy? That sounds so overwhelming.
There's a dress I've been eyeing for a while now. I'm certain it will complement your pretty eyes. Just leave it to me, Ingrid. I'll make you the most fabulous knight this world has ever seen.
Well, that does sound fun. I look forward to it.
Hey there.
Hey. No.
I'm going to catch me some mighty fish. Just you wait and see. I didn't catch a single fish last month. But this month, oh, this month. That's exactly what Captain Gerald said. You're going with the captain to investigate Ramire Village soon, aren't you? It feels like so long ago that you two came here. Oh, this is mine. I thought it had vanished. Thanks, I owe you.
Is that so? I'm worried about Ramire. That affliction is a little too mysterious for my liking. I'm pretty sure it's not normal. Then what could it be?
Maybe. If I'd love to. Hey, how about a favor? Hello.
Right.
Hello. You know, Professor, the tournament fish, and the meal we indulged in after the Battle of the Eagle and Lion? Why, all of the food I've eaten in this monastery has been absolutely delectable. Every last bite of it.
Food really is the only thing you think about, huh?
Hardly. I think about all sorts of things.
Oh, like tomorrow's menu, for instance? I have a request.
Hey!
All this month, His Highness has been going out late into the night. He will not speak of it to me. Professor, do you happen to know anything? Lord Arundel is here? That may well explain it. His Highness's headaches have been growing steadily worse. I would prefer that he retire to bed early.
Perhaps.
Professor?
Hey there.
Okay.
Professor? Do you have time for a request?
Okay.
Of the 4 or 5 years since I started here, this is certainly the busiest.
It was 4. I've been here 5.
What's a year here or there? Don't be petty now, Shamir.
You count your enemies the same way.
If I take care of them quickly, what does it matter how many there are? Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to ignore you, Professor.
As you were saying, it's been a busy year. There never seemed to be enough hands for the work.
That reminds me. Do you have that thing? If you do, we want it.
Want? No. We need it. Give it to me, not her.
Hey now, I'm the one who brought it up. We may be friends, but that's just rude. Hey you, do me a favor.
It was. You can't.
If I take.
As you were. Want?
Hey now.
I have a favor to ask.
Professor, I'm sorry to ask this of you, but I would deeply appreciate it if you would promise to keep my association with Edelgard to yourself. It is a complicated history, what she and I share.
Professor, what have you got there? That's... my goodness, that is just what I've been looking for. I can offer nothing more than this, but I do ask that you consider trading with me. I am in your debt, Professor.
Professor, tell me, is this about Ramire? There are more villagers acting strangely today than yesterday. Knights have been dispatched, yet the underlying cause is as yet unclear. And the most anyone can do is stand back and watch. It is most distressing. Professor, what do you think about all this? In that case, we should strengthen the guards. If you visit the village, Professor, please, take care.
Get it.
The librarian is always out and about these days. And just when I had some questions about a book I'd borrowed. Ugh, now I'm so curious about where he's gone off to. He'd better come back soon.
I am so happy to be part of your class, Professor. I honestly cannot recall the last time I interacted with others on a daily basis like this. It reminds me of when I was a child. That was so very long ago now. Oh, I mean very, 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 very long ago. Oh, that is mine! Thank you so very much.
That's,
Congratulations on winning the Battle of the Eagle and Lion. Did you get a special reward? I certainly feel like I earned a special reward. Don't you, Professor?
How did you know I lost this? Thank you for bringing it back to me.
What is it? I'm in the middle of my daily duties. I assume you know by now that the four saints are all-important figures in the teachings of Seros. Still, I have a particular fondness for Saint Sethlin. I have something to ask of you.
Oh, goodness. Is something the matter, Professor? You look a little pale. Please be careful. It's so easy to catch a cold this time of year.
Huh?
I could use your help.
Well...
Professor, how are you feeling, Professor? You look rather ill, if you don't mind my saying so. Are you sick? If so, I would urge you not to push yourself too hard. Take some rest. Just my natural talent, nothing out of the ordinary. Enough wit now. You should lie down. Oh, most kind. Thank you for bringing this to me.
Professor. Excuse me, Professor. May I have a moment of your time? Ah, wonderful. I was hoping you might enlighten me. About yourself, that is. You see, I happen to be quite curious about you. Well, because there is something different about you. You possess an air of mystery. I could not help but notice when first we met. I am intrigued, to say the least. I find it rather difficult to put into words. Were I to wax poetic, I would say you remind me of the sea. Have you ever been, Professor? The sea is vast, boundless. On the surface, all seems still. Yet beneath that stillness, it is unfathomably deep. Within, it teems with life. Yet without, one is lucky to glimpse a fleeting shadow. And yet, all one must do is cast a line to grasp hold of all that life. You cannot see it at a glance, but it is there all the same. About fish, of course. Oh, bother. I got sidetracked, didn't I? Right. About the sea. During a storm, the once calm waters become mighty enough to overturn even the vastest ships. Not unlike you. You are calm. You carry yourself with poise. Yet you wield great power. My brother was uncertain of you at first. He once referred to you as a youth of dubious origin. Oh, but please do not think ill of him. He is incredibly dedicated to his work. So surely you understand why he would have doubts about one of whom he knows so little. Nobody even seems to know your age. Incidentally, how old are you? Wait, you do not know your own age? You truly are mysterious. Looking at you, it is quite difficult for me to determine. I wonder... could you be younger than your own students? Who? Me? Well, I am roughly the same age as the other youths here. Be that as it may, it is simply not the case. Oh, by the way, you should know I had actually been considering enrolling in the academy for a while. I have endured hard times, but I am so grateful that those very experiences led to my acceptance at the academy. Oh, my apologies. I am sure you have much work to do. I will not keep you any longer. We must speak again sometime, if that would be all right. Have a lovely day.
Hey, wait a minute. What you've got there, isn't that... Please, could you let me have that? Here, I'll give you this in return. Fantastic! Thanks, Professor. You have no idea how happy this makes me.
What?
Well done. You have my thanks.
Professor, I picked this up, but... Oh hey, it worked out perfectly. Want to trade me what you're holding for it? Thanks, Professor. This is great. Hey, that's mine.
Professor, do you ever wish you could return to your life as a mercenary? Is that so? I suppose you have become accustomed to your new line of work. This month's assignment will again take you outside of Garrickmach, to Ramire Village. It was in Ramire that you first met Alois and the rest of his order, was it not? Half a year has come and gone since then. How quickly time passes. I appreciate this.
Impressive. Thanks.
Hello, Professor. What's that you've got there? Would you mind trading it with me for this? Oh, thank you so much. I'll be sure to take great care of it. Oh, this is mine. Thank you for returning it to me, but how did you know I lost it? Professor? It's about that thing you have there. If it's not too much of a bother, would you trade it for this? Thank you so much. I'll treasure...
That's a nice thing you have there, Professor. Don't suppose you're planning on using it yourself. Why don't you trade it for this? Sounds good, right? Excellent doing business with you, Professor.
I've always wanted to say that.
Oh, thank you. I gave up hope of ever finding it. maybe.
I wonder how Remire Village is faring. Hopefully we're not dealing with some new epidemic. It wouldn't be unheard of. Almost 20 years ago, a terrible plague blazed through Fargus. It even hit the capital city, taking the Queen Consort's life. Or so I heard. The whole kingdom was in an uproar over that loss. The person who saved the kingdom wasn't a doctor, but a holy woman, the fair Lady Cornelia. After that, she was awarded the honor of being a mage in the service of the royal family. She sounds like an amazing woman, but she must be pretty old by now. But hey, maybe she's aged like a fine wine. Oh, that's mine! Oh, thanks, Professor. You really saved the day.
Really?
What is it? Still... Yes, this is mine. Thank you for returning it.
You brought it, Professor? Hand it over and I'll make it worth your while.
How? You can't even afford your own drinks. Give it here. You won't regret it.
Excuse me? I asked first. Why don't we let the Professor decide?
Seems the Professor likes you better than me.
Thanks. Here's your prize. Maybe I'll let you borrow it later, Shamir. I knew I could count on you.
Hey!
Perhaps.
Professor. I like this.
That looks appetizing.
Oh, this takes me back. I used to love this when I was a child.
This is my absolute favorite. How did you know, Professor?
This looks delicious. Let's eat.
Ooh, I love this stuff. Did you know that?
I've eaten many meals in my time, but this is divine.
I appreciate any good meal, but nothing beats enjoying my favorite food.
Yeah, you just get it, Professor. This is my favorite.
This is nearly as delicious as Mother's cooking. I would happily eat this every day.
Maybe. I know you figure medicine and magical healing are two ways to do the same thing, but it's way deeper than that. Medicine is all about preventing infection and suppressing symptoms with, well, medicine. That's probably obvious. But magical healing is focused on closing up wounds faster, raising a body's vital energy. Stuff like that. Wherever did this turn up? Thank you for getting it back to me.
What?
Professor. You're certainly not going easy on me. You fight like a mercenary, not a knight. You hunger for victory, pure and simple. You may not be aware of it yourself, but I see it. Indeed. Knights ought to have some hunger. I've always thought so. They depend too much on their swords. Only when they're wrested away do knights consider their hands and feet as weapons. That's not how it was for warriors of old. They weren't limited by their tools. Victory is what matters, not the method of achieving it. That's the attitude to adopt. I detect that in your style. It is plain to see. You may take it however you like. I believe the difference between us lies within that hunger. But where does it come from? From the start, I was aiming to win. Yet I couldn't defeat you. Then I remembered something you said before. Indeed. I was raised to value strength above all else, whereas you had a reason, an ambition, pushing you toward that hunger. So tell me, what was the reason? Why were you driven to become so strong? That's a mercenary's answer, to be sure. So that is the source of your hunger. I suppose I must find my own. If we're to get along, I think not. I'll be content if you continue to train with me. Perhaps it will come to me as I swing my sword.
Hey!
A moment, please.
Oh, Professor. I didn't realize you were there. If we keep running into each other like this, people will start to talk. They'll say, Sylvain and the Professor are on the prowl. Forget it. What do you need? Well, you're not wrong. I fell for that girl recently, but I just wanted to have some fun and leave it at that. So, I told her we should break it off. I guess she was feeling a little more serious than I was. She started crying, and everything got a bit complicated. Come on, Professor. Playing around with girls is the most fun a guy can have. Besides, I don't care what you think of me. I don't intend to change how I live my life. I'm a good-for-nothing, if you haven't noticed. But I'm still a noble with a crest. That's all anyone cares about. It's best to avoid getting too serious with fools like that. It only leads to trouble. I'm gonna be forced into an arranged marriage with some random noblewoman anyway. By the way, Professor, you didn't know you had a crest, did you? I see. I suppose a mercenary wouldn't be concerned with such things. Most children who are born to noble families are tested upon birth to see if they bear one. Even descendants of the 10 elites, like myself, can't be legitimate heirs without a crest. That means as children, we're only accepted if we're born with one. The heads of most noble houses keep having kids until they get one with a crest. Those children then grow up to be heads of their houses, and the vicious cycle continues. Do you get it now? To all these commoner girls, I'm just a trophy. Or rather, a stud horse. See? I knew you'd get it. These girls don't love me. They love the potential rewards of loving me. If I marry a girl and she gives birth to a child with a crest, that kid might become the next head of House Gautier. But nowadays, with the bloodlines getting weaker, there are a lot of kids like my brother, born with no hope. For ages now, those of us with crests have been envied and desired, but never for who we are. I understand the value of my blood. Believe me, I hate how much I understand it. I know better than to dream of being free from this burden. I'm used to it by now. I used to think I didn't have the right to live freely. That's right. You know what? I'm a bit jealous. The whole time you were growing up, you never knew you had a crest. You were free. Nobody pretended to like you. I kind of hate you for that. You were a spoiled brat who should pay for that crest. Maybe I'll collect the debt. Gotcha! Wow, you should have seen the look on your face just then. Don't mind me, Professor. After all, ladies love a dark and brooding noble.
News of the affair at Remire Village has reached me. The situation seems rather dire. Any threat to the lives of the common folk must be met with swift action. Oh, you share my views? That speaks well of you. You have more than a commoner's share of integrity. Given your concern, would it not be appropriate for you to depart rather than idling the time away? I can't be expected to remember where I leave every small object. Return that at once. At once, I say.